welcome back to my channel. If you are new here and like the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button for more content. Thank you for watching. Hello, and before you say anything, this is technically a re-upload. This is one of my projects from No Matter What Happens, I'll Always Love You series, but this time I am adding a voiceover to this. So if you have any other videos that I have previously made without a voiceover and you would like one, please let me know in the comments and I'll totally be down to do them. Now let's go ahead and get to the angst. Sleepover time! Maki jumped onto the bed, making loud creaking sounds. Shut up, or you'll give my mom the wrong impression. They both laughed, letting their imagination run wild. Wait, your mom isn't even here. Yes, but this is an apartment complex with really thin walls. Fair enough. The couple cuddled up on the bed watching old vines together. Matsun started peppering tiny pecks on the smaller's face, while he kept on moving away. Matsun, stop! He emphasized the O, dragging it out. Accept my love. Never! The brunette then attacked the latter by tickling his stomach. On the outside, people didn't think much of them and saw them more as friends than lovers. However, they are actually the world's most sappiest couple behind closed doors. Stop it! I surrender! Matsun finally stopped tickling Maki to much relief after wiping his tears. That's what I thought. The smaller giggled, snuggling in closer. If I ever break up with you, you have full permission to full-on bitch slap me. Matsun hummed. In the ass? Maki could feel his face heat up. Matsukawa! Oh shit. Matsun rolled off the bed to deflect the latter's punch. Dumbass. The taller peeked his head over the bed. Correction, you're dumbass. Maki rolled his eyes. Do you remember that time we thought we were straight and always said, love you, no homo, and then it turned into full homo? Those were the dark ages. The brunette snorted. The dark ages? Maki nodded. Any age that I'm straight is dark. Facts. Matsun finally got comfortable on the bed again. Wanna watch a movie? Sure, but I might pass out. I'm exhausted. That's okay. I enjoy seeing your sleeping face. Ew, creep. Not like that. I can never win with you. Matsun pouted. It's okay because you love me. Always. Maki smiled, finally shutting his eyes. They felt heavy from his long day of school and practice. It was finally the weekend, so they could relax, together, just the two of them. Before he knew it, he was asleep. Fire. It was so hot, Maki shuffled in bed trying to get away from the heat, but couldn't seem to do so. Did Matsun turn on the heat? Burning flesh. He tried to convince himself that someone just burned some chicken the next door over, but the undeniable smell of smoke was enough to make his eyes peel open. His eyes widened in panic when he saw the ceiling burning red embers and flames. Shit! Matsun! He started shaking his lover awake. Normally Matsun is a heavy sleeper and tonight was no different. He was interrupted when he heard a loud crack above them. Maki grabbed the toddler by the shirt and threw them both off of the bed right before the ceiling caved in that spot. Miraculously, Matsun woke with a start, now wide awake and alert. What the? Come on! Maki got up, dragging his lover by the arm. I just woke up. I don't know what's going on. He answered the unspoken question Matsun was already laying in his head before interrupted into a coughing fit. They barged out of the apartment with nothing but their PJs. Maki headed to the elevators out of habit, not thinking much about it. Fully awake, Matsun grabbed the smaller's arm, pulling him to the staircase. The elevator is made out of metal. We would die from the pure heat alone if the cables haven't snapped yet. Right. Sorry. Matsun shifted his grip on Maki to where he intertwined their hands together. It's okay, love. Don't apologize. If it weren't for the whole life and death situation, Maki probably would have gotten flustered, but that wasn't the case now. Maki squeezed onto his hand tight, using his presence as an anchor. Just when the two were finishing the last flight of stairs, the smaller of the two stumbled, tripping over his own feet. Matsun caught him just in time, crashing into the wall. The two of them took the time to catch their breath. Issei. Maki looked up to his lover, who was just as red and sweaty as he was. It felt like he was breathing in needles. His eyes watered involuntarily from the smoke. No matter what happens, I'll always love you. Matsun frowned, grabbing onto his other hand. Don't talk like that, Hiro. We will make it out. Keeping his word, the brunette started dragging Maki towards the exit. Wait! Matsun stopped. What? We are almost there. Do you hear that? Matsun took a moment to listen. He heard crying. A small child. Oh my god. This is bad. Time was running out. For both them and the child. We can't leave them, Issei. I know. Matsun darted his eyes towards the lobby of the building. The place where his childhood home was, now in flames. He gritted his teeth, frustrated. He couldn't even manage to grab anything, leaving him with nothing. He barely made it out of his own bed alive if it weren't for his boyfriend. There! Maki already took off in the direction of the children. A small girl huddled close in the corner, crying, holding her baby brother tightly in her arms. What Maki didn't see was the tumbling ceiling right above the children. Hiro! Watch out! Maki quickly looked above him with the children in his arms in fear. Issei, catch! Maki threw the children towards Matsun, who luckily caught them, right before the ceiling caved in. Takahiro! The children started crying louder. Matsun thought nothing of it, just the blinding fear of losing his lover. He wasn't getting any response either, just the crackling of wood in the fire. He took a deep breath. He is okay. Maki is okay. He kept on telling himself that to keep his cool. He turned towards the crying little girl, still desperately holding on to her brother. Can you walk? Yeah. Okay, do you see that door over there? He pointed to it, where outside was. She nodded. I need you to run out there. There will be people to help you and your brother. But what about you? Don't worry about that. I'll be right behind you. He strained a smile to try to comfort the girl. Okay. Once the girl was out of sight, Matsun jumped into the flames, one more past the wall of flames to get to the site where Maki was last seen. Hiro? Can you hear me? He heard a rough, hoarse voice that was barely even heard, but a fit of coughing followed. He used that sound to lead him to Maki. It didn't take long to find the latter, who was ruthlessly pinned down by a beam. Issei? I'm right here. He quickly crouched down. Maki groaned. What hurts? It came off more urgent than he meant to. My legs. I can't get it out. He strained against the heavy metal beam. Matsun quickly looked over and almost lost his dinner if it weren't for the smell of smoke taking over. Maki's leg was completely crushed, blood oozing from the underneath the beam, and every time he would try to move it, you could easily mistake the sound for the wood cracking. Shit. He quickly grabbed a hold of it and attempted to pull it off. No matter what he did, it wouldn't budge. Not an inch. Come on! Stupid muscles! He internally cursed for not taking weight training more seriously. For being of no use. For being too weak. Because of his weakness, he couldn't get his lover out. The smaller seemed to have noticed. Issei, stop! You need to get out of here. This building is going to crumble at any second. And leave you here? No way in hell am I doing that. Maki cursed and felt his eyes stinging, not from the smoke either. Please, Issei, please leave. I don't want you to. Get the hell out of here! Or I'll break up with you. I'll hate you. Forever! Madsen finally stopped trying to get the beam off and settled down next to Maki, sensing his desperate need to get the other out. He pulled Maki up a bit, so he rested on his lap. Stop! Don't touch me! Get out! Maki felt snot and tears dripping from his face, but none of that mattered. Madsen smiled, feeling the heat of the flames getting closer. I'm not going anywhere, love. I'm not leaving you alone. Till the end of time. Together. Maki still squirmed around, trying to get Madsen out of the burning building. To safety. Madsen smiled painfully. Accept my love, dumbass. Maki froze at those words, the conversation from earlier. No matter what happens, I'll always love you. Those words replayed bitterly in his head. Now he understood what the latter meant. Always. Madsen shot up with a start. White, sterile room. This wasn't his room. His throat burned for some water. He looked down and saw his hands wrapped in bandages and IVs in his arms. The table next over had water. He gladly reached over and grabbed the cup and drank from it. He felt a sharp stab in his hands but thought nothing of it. He couldn't remember what happened. He was having a sleepover with Maki. Then he was awoken by him because of a fire. He slowly connected the pieces together. They ran out. Almost made it. Then the children. Then Maki got stuck. In defeat, they stayed together. How did he get here? He surely thought he was going to die. Wait, where's Maki? The heart monitor slowly accelerated. That's when it hit. Right before their last moments together, firefighters came barging in and grabbed Madsen, dragging him away from the sobbing Smaller. What about Maki? A nurse came in. I see you took the water. Where's Maki? Who? His blood ran cold. I need to see him. Is he a patient? He hesitantly nodded, just praying he was a patient. I'll go look. What's his name? Hanamaki. Hanamaki Takahiro. She said while looking at her clipboard. Madsen shot up. Yes! Is he okay? He is one of my patients. I was just making rounds, and his room is next. After I visit him to check how he is doing, I can come back here and tell you if you'd like. Please. He answered a bit too fast. All right. She smiled and left. 2 long hours of anxiousness, still nothing. All he needed to know was if he was still alive. At least that. He knows they can make it through anything together. This was no different. Wait. Of course he's still alive. He was in the hospital. But what was taking so long? There was a knock at the door. Come in. His voice was really rough and hoarse, and almost didn't sound like him. Although it was partly expected, Madsen couldn't help but dread who came in. Iwazumi and Oikawa. He was hoping it was the nurse coming back in, but this was almost as better. Kawa? Iwa? It was almost as if a dam broke. Everything that happened in the past 24 hours came crashing down on him like a boulder. Oikawa was hoping that once they walked in his room, Masa would play it off as a joke knowing how he normally is. But this isn't normal times. This was the most vulnerable and broken they ever seen him. It's going to be okay. Matsun just shook his head. How could everything be okay if Maki was hurt, or even worse, dead? He had no way of knowing his condition. Iwaizumi wrapped his arms around the toddler, letting him sob into his shoulder. I want to see him! The nurse hasn't told me anything. I don't even know if he is alive. He sobbed and hiccuped into the ace's shirt. Matsun had to force his breathing to stabilize because of how much he previously inhaled smoke. He is alive. Matsun perked up at this answer. Is he really? Yeah, we just visited him before we came here. Matsun grabbed onto both of their arms. How is he? They both hesitated. Whenever the fireman dragged you out, Maki was still pinned down by that beam. He knew that much. It took an extra 10 minutes before they were able to get it off. Matsun paled. 10 whole extra minutes? 10 minutes of breathing in that smoke, pinned under that beam? Alone? Right now, he is relying on oxygen for his smoke inhalation. What about his leg? That beam crushed it, shattering his bones. It's very possible that he won't be able to walk the same anymore, but they already went under 3 different surgeries to try to fix it. Matsun let out a sigh of relief that it was nothing worse. Yes, he was still terrified of the healing process, but he knows that he could take it on together. It was about 2 more days until Matsun was able to get up and see Maki. His state left the latter with a throb in the back of his throat. Hiro? The pink-haired boy turned towards his lover, smiling. Issei, I'm so glad you're okay. The toddler faltered, before crashing the other into a big bear hug. I'm okay. I was so scared that you didn't— I know. I thought we were goners for sure. He shivered at the memory. Never do something like that ever again. Maki smiled, holding tightly to his lover's hand while the latter of course scolded him for his reckless behavior. How hard he had fallen, and he would never turn back. Sorry, but my old editing methods really just said, what the hell is oxygen? This video could have easily been over 20 minutes if I gave myself some breathing time. Anyways, just let me know if you want me to voice over any of my old videos. Thank you for watching. As always, if you'd like to be kept up to date, check out any of my social medias. I hope that you all have a wonderful day or evening.